I guess you just gotta recognize that you're living a mundane life most of the time. Even the Bleach characters have a day-to-day life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back in another episode of Dandadan. Normally, we come back with a board and notes. I come back with notes. Technically, there's only one change to the board, which is to say I turned the white line connecting Granny and Ken to white. Sorry, clearly that was a typo. I changed the white line connecting them to green, because that seems like the relationship that they have now. So yeah. If you want that minorest of minor updates, the link will be down below where it always is for the board. Otherwise, no real reason to bring that up here. So, we're just going to go back into the notes, which is just as a note, not a great way to start the first note. We already know Turbo Granny can hear people in the tunnel. It was a point in episode 1 when Ken first got caught by her. So saying your plan out loud in the tunnel about what to do once you lure her out doesn't seem like a good idea. Then again, this is predominantly an action-oriented comedy, so I'm not going to put that down as a mark against your character's intelligence. Ayase literally goes, "Oh yeah," to imply that this was something she knew already, and that it's exposition for the audience's sake to remember what we are doing in this episode, considering that's the episode's start. So, just something I thought to bring up. I appreciate that Turbo Granny isn't so dumb as to see Ken transform in front of her after he mentions the curse and just leave him cursed to try and kick her ass with her own powers. I feel like way too many overconfident anime antagonists would do just that, or forget, or some other equally stupid thing. The show, so far, has some pretty good writing on its side. Granted, the arrogance that she does display would typically fall into that same category, but as per the good writing, we at least established that ahead of time, which is to say, her arrogance or pride. Just a minor nitpick, but Ayase mentions that Turbo Granny's legend would be ruined if she broke the rules, and that's basically just Black Pearl levels of thinking. One of the jokes from Pirates of the Caribbean was one person saying to the other that the Black Pearl leaves no survivors, and the joke being that he heard that from a survivor. Granny's legend can't be harmed if she breaks the rules and kills you, because who would they tell if they died? I'm just gonna say, Turbo Granny is a cheater anyways. I feel like she's trying to pull monkey's paw rules where your wish gets twisted for not being specific enough. Fair enough if that's what you're doing, and this is just the first contact with that, but this doesn't feel like that. You didn't describe how to count is a tell a robot how to make peanut butter and jelly sandwich response. I get it. She's an evil spirit and there's no winning, but it feels like her arrogance was meant to be the inciting incident, so if she was truly arrogant, she'd want to prove that she was faster, and thus cheating feels like it subverts her own belief in her abilities. I suppose this fight would have actually been easier had Ayase left her costume on too, since it seems like Turbo Granny would have had a harder time dealing with her then. I know, not that she had much trouble with Ken. For being merged with the location-bound spirit, Turbo Granny and it seemed to be entirely separate. Guess I didn't understand that explanation from last episode. So, like Bleach, normal people can't see spirits either, I guess. I imagine that only applies to spirits that aren't directly affecting you, since Ken could see Turbo Granny. It's either that. Sorry, when I say he could see Turbo Granny, I mean the first time when he was in the tunnel. It's either that or something is special about Ken that we'll find out about later, I imagine. I wonder then what the pictures that the random people in the streets look like, vis-a-vis Ken running with her Ayase on his back. His transformed appearance is probably spirit-related, so did they just see Ayase on Ken's back, with Ken looking like he normally does? I'd wager that'll show up later to be thrown in Ayase's face, relationship-wise, by her friends. Okay, so I've never been to a hot spring, but I had to imagine water hot enough to boil a crab is likely going to cause some serious burns to human skin, and not a place you'd like to take a dip in. Somewhat interesting that when all the dead bodies start running after our two heroes, Turbo Granny says that she borrowed some help from the spirits already resting there. Implying what? Dead people have a grudge to bear against the living? Is she implying that these are the spirits of those dead people, or just random spirits that are animated dead bodies? There is a lot of heavy setting affecting material being implied by whatever is going on here. You know, despite Turbo Granny having a problem with teenager lingo, it's funny that she understands how trains work. I suppose trains have been around for a long time, whereas teenage lingo is constantly changing and evolving, so it's consistent and makes sense. Just funny to see her school Ayase on what was genuinely an amazing full episode takedown plan. The only hint I had of it was when Ken mentioned that they weren't on the right path, which I just took to mean that they weren't heading back into the right, that they were heading back into the city rather than to its edge. But in hindsight, clearly meant to where actual Granny was. The juxtaposition between action and humor had me completely misread what was happening with the bodies ejected from the spirit. I thought we were pulling a fake out comedy moment, that the people the spirit had consumed were now freed, but since they did it on a train going 100 kilometers per hour, they were just going to splat on the ground at high speed, like a horrible, horrible learning moment. Didn't register that we'd transitioned back into serious non-quippy time, with the spirits of the dead being released from an eternal torment. And my last note here, I really liked that ending though. It's super important that the characters be enjoyable outside of the premise of what brought them together, and I feel like we got that from the show. I mean, that's how love starts, you know? Anyway, that was the notes, so there's nothing really left to do here, but hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
A lot of anime does love its telephone pole scenes. High School of the Dead started with that every time. Vamola. That before. Are we gonna call out the wrong person? That'd be more embarrassing. Yeah, okay, we're not. Oh god, social stuff is so fucking awkward. Now we're back to assuming shit. I mean, to be fair, it's fucking cute. I guess my problem is that I would put myself in Ken's shoes, because I would also just assume that shit, right? There's no way they're waiting for me. They must be waiting for their friends. And to avoid the social stigma of putting myself out there and then being rejected, you do the thing that is least likely to harm you, even if it harms your relationship with others, which is to say, ignore, go past. And despite the fact that the thing you want most from that situation is one, to be acknowledged, seen and regarded, right? You want to spend your time with that person, but it's a double-edged sword, right? The thing that would hurt you the most is to want to spend time with that person and that person actively waiting for somebody else, right? To see you walk up and have them say, "Oh, sorry, not for you, I'm somebody else," because then you would go unhurt. Whereas if you never open yourself up to that, then you can't be hurt, right? That's, it's not the mentality you should have, but it's the mentality I think a lot of us have had at that age or beyond, right? There's no age limit on emotion, right? People can feel any sort of way at any point in their life. And, valid. It's always going to be valid.
そうなんですか。
UFO で超遠いところから来んじゃん。UFO の中絶対超むさ苦しいよね。
I guess they never really talked about the UFO part.
何食べてんだろう。なんだと思う？
いや、
また後で話そう。じゃ、またね。
I mean, to be fair, she's carrying the whole thing.
ちょっと早く解いてくんない？マジうざい。
Now back to normal life again. Oh, is that where the balls thing from the title comes from? Okay, his conspiracy theory stuff. For a second, I thought it was school books. Fair enough, but you should probably also get backbone. Yeah, I mean, fucking apologize, you jackasses. Like, weirdly, he looked over concerned and then said nothing. BB cream.
昨日学校休むしさ。ねえ、もしかしたら元彼のとこ行ったんじゃね？うわ、マジか。それで完全に振られて全部どうでもよくなって。
Hope we don't see that guy again unless he gets his ass kicked.
リダ、悶絶タイム。過去を思い出してもだえ苦しむあれですね。宇宙人の話がしたい。
Oh, kind of in reverse territory now.
幽霊の話がしたい。朝はテンパって全然受け答えできなかった。せっかく綾瀬さんがいろいろ聞いてくれたのに。オカルンと話したい。襲ってきた宇宙人
I mean, I really like this.
何食べてんの？
Young love, right?
履いてんのとか。
バカ野郎、ケン。すっとこどこい。
To be fair, though, I think Ken just wants to talk to her. She wants to talk about aliens. To the only person who can. I guess you just gotta recognize that you're living a mundane life most of the time. Even the Bleach characters have a day-to-day life. Well, so surprised he was able to push people out of the way. Okay, this is just as annoying as the Lou sneaking out of the bathroom thing from Link Click. Gonna spend the entire lunch break missing each other. This is very annoying because this is very real. This is how I lose people in the supermarket.
めんどくさくなったんだ。
もうどこにいん
I
だ
mean,
よ
yes, two benches apart.
昼休み終わっちゃうじゃん。
最悪だ。
そういや朝元気に
Okay, there's a window there.
あんまグイグイ来られんの苦手かもな。なんかちゃんとオカルの気持ち考えてあげれてなかったかもな。
綾瀬さん友達多いし、自分なんか友達予備軍的
I
な
feel like either way, the bell's gonna ring. You both are gonna stand up and try and go through the same hallway.
自分なんか友達に入ってないのかもしれない。
Come on, 2 episodes in a row we went through a do not assume arc with their relationship. Kind of funny though. Typically, a love story kind of goes, we were both looking at the same sky, sort of thing.
思い上がってた。なんて不甲斐ないんだ自分は。
なんでうちっていつもこうなんだろう。
すいません、綾瀬さん。
ごめん、オカル。
いた！オカルいた！パー！綾瀬さん！そんなとこで何やってんすか？こっちのセリフだわ！いた！てか歯ガチってなったんだけど！ずっと探してたんですよ、綾瀬さんのこと。
There we go, yeah, say it out loud.
セリフうろうろしてんじゃねえし。
自分のこと探してくれてたんですか？
そうだよ、もう休み時間終わっちゃうじゃん。
自分はてっきり綾瀬さんに避けられてるかと。
それ、うちが思ってたことだから。
Oh, they're fucking adorable.
あれ、なんか変な感じになってるぞ。早く話題を変えないと。今キスしてた。ちょっとママ、そういうことなら早く言ってよ。だからいろいろ。
I mean, it does look that way when you're holding your mouth and you're just like bashed face to face.
そうですよ、こんなバカな人とするわけないでしょ。
Now,
てめえが拒否ってんじゃねえぞ、このハゲ。ハゲてません、もう見えてます。
this is backfiring pretty funny.
今メガネの人全員敵に回しましたから。あんたの
They already thought they were cute together the last time they were arguing.
そっちこそ話しかけてこないでくださいよ。
やば。めっちゃ仲いいじゃん。
Again, same thing they said during the stairwell fight.
あんなこと言っちゃったけど、話したいことはたくさんある。ちゃんと謝らないと。あれ？
Dick missing again?
中庭でキスしてたんだって。
Or the balls, obviously. It's the name of the episode.
だからちぎって言ってんだろかい。それがオタクくんでさ、めっちゃメガネ。話を進めてってね。お、来た。あれカレピ。だから彼氏じゃねえ。何やってんだよ。
綾瀬さん、お話があります。
ああ。
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
綾瀬さん、大問題発生ですよ。
何しに来てんだよ。喋りたくないって言ってんだろ。シッシ。
それどころじゃないんですよ。大事な話なんです。二人きりで話したいんですよ。お願いですから聞いてください。
Everyone's gonna misread that.
やだ。いきなり修羅場かよ。これびかわいそうじゃん。だからあいつは彼氏でもなんでもないの。勝手に変な噂流すな。
綾瀬さん、朝はすごく話してくれたじゃないですか。なんで今は話してくれないんですか？
あんただって喋らないって言ったじゃん。
あれは売り言葉に買い言葉っていうか、本当は綾瀬さんと話したくて仕方がないんですよ。
I mean,
うるせえ。嫌なもんは嫌なんだよ。
I appreciate that they're actually vocalizing shit, not internalizing it and running away.
ひでえのはお前らだろ。
自分と仲良くするのそんなに恥ずかしいですか？
Ouch. Listen, I don't know how you...
拒否らなくてよくない？友達なら軽くシャレで流してたじゃん、今まで。らしくないじゃん。
I don't know how you survive that socially. I mean, Ken, not her, obviously.
綾瀬さん、もう帰っちゃったかな？
The social dynamic here has Ayase completely in the power here.
ごめんなさい。大丈夫ですか？
いや、こっちこそ。
私のバッグ、水筒入ってて。 痛くなかったですか？
いやー、全然でしたね。鍛えてるからかな。
Way overcompensating.
自分が悪いんです。気にしないでください。
すごく優しいんですね。
I'm suspicious. This doesn't feel like a love triangle situation.
いや、あれはうちが悪いわ。何あれ、友達いないとか言ってなかったっけ？しかもちょっと可愛いし。
Yeah, I know. It's suspicious.
ねえ、見た今の。あのオタク、超アホ面してたし。
Okay, there we
あ
go.
れ完全に落ちたよね。私のことめっちゃ好きになったでしょ。
あんたもよくやるね。
だって楽しいじゃん、カスを好きにさせるの。どうせあんなやつ女の子とまともに話したことないでしょ。私みたい
You know, they gotta still be walking away. This conversation's still very loud for some reason.
夢見せてあげてるんだし、よくない？あのオタクメガネも幸せだ。
Yeah, there we go. I legit don't think she deserved that, but it would have been different if she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get all of his money. He's gonna buy me shit from now on. She's like, let him dream, right?
綾瀬さん。
オーカルン、一緒に帰ろう。今日もイカしてるね、そのメガネ姿。バカ女にはわかんねえか。オカルンの魅力は男を落とすより頭にたらい落としてる方がお似合いだぜ。
See, again, this is an element that I bring up in, like, Macross and everything. You can't let people shit-talk your villain because it makes you look worse. This is the guy she likes. You can't have other girls messing with that, otherwise it makes you look bad.
最低な態度取ってた。中庭でキスしたみたいになって、なんかテンパっちゃって。恥ずかしがってごめんね。オカルンと仲良くするの恥ずかしくないから。
いいんです。全然気にしてません。
Embarrassed about having emotions, which is the most teenager and human thing possible. Oh, sorry, just the most human thing possible. As I said, it's not age dependent.
そんなことより大変なんですよ、綾瀬さん。
はあ、ちょっとそんなことって何よ。結構悩んでたんですけど。
落ち着いて聞いてください。自分たちターボババア倒しましたよね。
倒したじゃん。お参りもしたでしょ。オカルンの呪いも解けてるし、あそこも戻ったでしょ。
ナイス。
何が？
弾？
あ？
弾がナイス。
Sarah Granny never implied that she stole your balls.
だから見せろって言っただろうが、そもそもなんで気づかねえんだよ。てめえの玉だろうが。
綾瀬さん、笑いすぎでしょ。
Yeah, legitimately, I have no idea how you don't notice.
それで安心して弾までは気づけなくて。
さーっておめえいいように言ってんじゃねえぞ。鉛筆だろ、おめえのは。
I mean, they're legitimately hanging objects
仕方ねえ。ちょっと見てみる
with
か。
nerve endings.
見るんですか？
おめえのチンコなんか見ねえよ。
There's a reason it's an off switch to kick a man in the balls.
ママ、なんでもいいから人形持ってこい。あと洗面器に水だ。こいつの中になんかいるぜ。よし、じゃあ始めるぜ。人形に札つけたな。
Hey, the cat from the ending.
このバカチンが！
なんすかこれ？
動くな、喋るな、腐ったみかん。
ちょっと待って、それ完全にふざけてないですか？
You're gonna beat it out of him into the cat?
はい、ふざけてる。っていうか、金八先生は腐ったみかんって言わないから。
モモ、今なんか見えなかったか？
Sorry, I bring up Bleach all the time, so I'm thinking
今オカルン
Kenpachi.
が叩かれた時、オーラが一瞬変わった。
よし、モモ、手伝え。オーラの色が変わった瞬間、そのオーラを引っ張り出せ。
人のオーラって取り出せるの？
それはこいつのじゃねえ。異物なら取り出せるはずだ。行くぞ。
You know, we keep seeing him. The only aura we see is the red one. Does that imply humans don't have auras at all?
あれ今感触あったのに出したらなくなった。やばいばあちゃん逃がしたかも。
落ち着け。
Also, why didn't it catch on fire once it passed through the gate? Or is the gate no longer defending anything anymore?
はいや、なんなのマジで。
どこ行ったさったみかん。
そうだ。どこだ猫。いた。
It's funny that you can use your psychic hands, which depend on your regular hands, but also use your regular hands while using the psychic hands.
すごいっすね、綾瀬さん。超能力が進化してるじゃないですか。
イエーイ。どうよ。あれ、こいつ何？
Come at me, bro.
こいつは驚いた。
何これ？
ターボババアさ。
ターボババアは倒したじゃん。成仏させたんでしょ？
So you defeated the earthbound spirit, I guess.
年上なめんじゃねえぜ。なんか可愛くない？なめんじゃねえってんだよ、クソが。わしゃ結界術で焼かれる刹那、炎の中を泳ぐように霊体になって小僧の体に乗り移ったのさ。虫の息だったせいもあって小僧の中では完全に気配を消せた。
Kind of like a Mob Psycho 100, right? With the little green guy.
まだやる気？あんた負けたじゃん。負けてねえわ。わしが負けるわけねえだろ、ボケが。特にてめえは許さねえぜ。ボキャボキャにするわ。あんた状況わかってる？今主導権持ってんのこっちだから。
I mean, I guess this is by the method that Ken is going to continue to have power.
自分の弾をお前に逃げ場はないんだからな。
わしを倒そうなんて考えねえ方がいいぜ。わしが死ねばてめえの弾は永久に元に戻らねえ。間抜けなてめえらもやっと状況を把握したかよ。主導権はわしにしかねえんだよ、このクソだらが。
I mean, you're
とりあえず小僧は
holding them hostage,
でこの女二人殺せ。そしたら弾返
which is literally the name of the Link Click episode we just watched, ironically.
てめえはわしの言うことを聞くしかねえんだよ。さっさとやれよ。
Okay, so he still has some of his power. Or even more than before, I guess.
なんでターボババアを追い出したのになんで変身できんの？バカな、どうなってやがる。
このハリセンはよ、悪霊を体から追い出すためのもんだがよ。よっぽど頑張ってへばりついてたのか、ババアの意識だけが出てきちまったみてえだな。
So he held on to all of Granny's power. So she has literally nothing left. She's just her conscious. Okay, yeah.
さっきこの金八に向かって間抜けとか言ってなかったか？このバカチンクソ猫腐ったみかん。
I mean, that's pretty funny, but it's still holding your balls hostage. I mean, we already covered. You gotta train more. Train more to hold on to it more.
せこいやつだけどさ、ぶっちゃけあんたのことあんま憎めないんだよね。あの子たちに同情する気持ちは同じだしさ。
Yeah, I mean, she has a sympathetic backstory to her. Past the murders, I guess.
うちらもあんたの力返すよ。ね。クソだらが。いいぜ。よっしゃ決まり。じ じゃあ早速玉返して。ここにはね。ねえ、約束したじゃん。さっさと。わしゃ嘘はつかねえ。こいつの玉どっかに落としちまった。
I guess also, not for nothing, but you didn't give her powers back either, so the we had a deal thing. You can't really initiate the deal without the deal going both ways. So, yeah, I guess that explains the cat in the ending credits. I'm sorry, I just see so much Bleach in this show. You know, they even have, what's his name? Khan? Khan was the human intelligence thing, you know, the thing to replace Ichigo when he's in the spirit realm, so his body's still being controlled and doing stuff. So we lose that little element of it and we replace it with a spirit, and then a spirit gets put into an object. I guess the ending credits implies that she's just gonna be hanging around doing stuff. Fine, fair enough. I'm just wondering where we're going from here, like, antagonist-wise. Like, is this a Monster of the Week style show? Is it going to be a high school romance show? Or are, like, the aliens gonna be the big bad that come back? Or is there gonna be some greater organization to fight? I mean, if this turns out just to be a high school romance thing with a little bit stuff added to the side, I'm 100% down.
やべえ。
やべえ、何がやべえんですか？
人間ってのはよ、気づいたらやべえって言っちまう生き物なんだよ。
超わかる。
Oh, we're bringing her back anyway.
だから何がやべえんですか？
Oh, okay. The golden ball that's also in the credits, I guess she has. I don't know if it implies that she has always had power, or, well, she noticed the spirit outside. Not to keep invoking Bleach, but if Ichigo is Ken... No, we've already got 3 different powers going on. No, I guess we have 2. So, in this aspect, Ken is just some sort of weird hollow guy, and she would be the Shinigami in that she is like the psychic, which seems to be the main human thing, or she's the Quincy. Either way, we're talking about 3 different power sets. She's a 3rd power set, so I guess that's kind of what's happening. It seemed odd that they gave her so much focus for her just to be a side character that was messing with Ken. So I'm kind of glad that she's come back. I think I've mentioned before how I do the board stuff, which is to say, I have a listing that says which characters appeared in which episodes, and then I take the character images and I put them on the board for every episode they appear in, and then based on what I saw in that episode, I then connect the characters together with the relationships I think that each one of them has, which is why a number of characters have appeared that are not connected to anything, because while the listing says that they appeared in that episode, I do not recognize them. As such, my guy here must have been in the background shot of a scene, because I literally do not recognize him as being in anything yet. He's in the opening, of course. I've seen him in the opening. And I don't know if I saw him in the background of the school scene here, but I'm waiting for my guy to show up. But evidently we're moving into that other girl now, who I don't think has been on the board yet. And obviously, spoilers, I knew the cat was going to turn into Turbo Granny, because unfortunately, when the website that I take the images from, which is behind the voice actors, as it's the least spoilery way for me to get these images, as all it does is list which voice actors played which characters, and then the character image with the name. Unfortunately, the listing for Turbo Granny had the cat there, so it's like, I wonder when that's going to happen. So it might have seemed odd for like 4 or 5 episodes now. I did not connect any of the characters to an image of Turbo Granny, as though I didn't consider Turbo Granny to be a character, but the Serpians and, Flatwoods Monster, I included as characters. That's the explanation there. I didn't know when it was going to happen, how, why, but I had a character image that said Turbo Granny of a cat, and it's the cat in the ending credits, so it's like, this is going to happen eventually. I guess not for nothing, the ending credits have been there since like episode 1, so they've kind of been implying that Cat was going to be a thing for a while. Yeah, no, like I appreciate that at least half of the episode was very real, emotional shit that I know I've felt during my life plenty of times. It's been like my number one fear about shit, just in the daily life of regular world. You know, I'm not talking about like any of my health concerns or any of that shit. Like, vast majority of my time on this planet has been spent worrying about the same fucking shit that Ken has been worried about. So, yeah, I really appreciate the show is doing that well. You know, it's not some over-the-top contrivance or people not voicing the things that they feel. When these people didn't say the stuff out loud, it felt like they had gone to great lengths already to talk to one another about how they were feeling and push through their own barriers, so that when they stopped saying stuff, it was the normal point at which you would assume real people would stop conveying their emotions to one another because of other outside factors and whatnot, too. So, very much appreciated that. As I said, really enjoying the show. The show has good writing, and I really like it. So, I think that's going to be it for this episode. Once again, I've been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?